What'd you
split
see?
second.
What'd you see?
Well, she was taking pictures and then it was dark, and I looked here and I saw somebody bent over looking at this camera.
In here?
Yeah, right here, just for a second like that. It just was all dark, boom, just like that.
So what did they explain, like, describe exactly what you saw?
It was dark, it was, whoever it was dark. They were just like a silhouette or something,
Okay.
right? And they were just bent over like this here, looking at this camera.
So sort of like this?
Yeah.
But
And-
they
it was-
actually came in the room?
They were right here in the doorway, right here, just for one
So
split
where
second.
were you standing when you saw that?
Right here, and I was looking around, I was.
Okay, so none of us went by the doorway at all?
No, that's what,
Okay.
no,
All
it
right.
just
No,
was like.
I just want to make
disappeared.
sure,
But I was going to go out the door, and then this startled me because I saw this person standing there, and I thought it was one of you guys, but it wasn't.
Okay, give me the time, guys.
It was weird.
But
But it
it
was-
was 20 to 2.
But it
Okay,
was just
so-
like for a
20 to
split
2.
second, just like a second, that's all.
Okay, so we'll just make sure that we don't have anything on one of the, maybe.
Yeah.
When we
DVR or
started,
something.
I had full battery, and it's flashing battery low now.
What kind of battery?
I think it's AA.
Do you have some more battery?
Oh yeah, I got
Okay,
tons.
all right. Well, that's another doorway experience.
Is that where you saw?
Well, no, I
Oh,
was
downstairs,
getting some sort of, something in here, that's why I came over here to listen, and I was, just something about this area, I don't know why.
Well, this was like a silhouette of a man,
Mhm.
okay?
Yeah.
This was a man standing there and just bending over, almost like they were trying to figure out what this thing was.
So it was
Yeah.
motion, you saw full motion, or was it just
The full body,
okay.
all right, the head to foot, but it was so fast, it was like just a flash, that was it.
Okay, and what, okay, go over when it did it dissipate, just disappear?
It just,
Can you explain?
yeah, it just disappeared. It was like I
As
looked.
soon as you noticed them?
As soon as I noticed it, it disappeared.
Okay, so
Yeah.
no light or anything like that
No.
broke that, it just naturally dissipated,
Just-
just disappeared as soon as you noticed it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
just like in the second that I noticed, but it was funny because it was all black, like I got no features, nothing. It was like a silhouette, or like
It's
dark.
pretty much what I had seen downstairs.
Yeah?
Well, the last time I
But
was
did
here.
you see a man or a
It
woman?
was a woman that I saw that I thought,
Yeah.
I'm not saying for sure,
Yeah.
obviously, I don't know, but.
Well, this was so fast, I had to sort of like, is that what you did? I see?
Yeah,
Do
I
a
just
double
heard
take?
Marcy go, oh,
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, because I thought it was one of you guys,
Yeah,
you know, that had come back here to check this thing.
yeah.
And then it disappeared.
Hmm.
So that was weird. Oh my,
Okay, well, hopefully maybe we got something on something here.
wow.
And then, and why you're here, so to speak.
Okay, my name's Jules, and I work here, and I'm usually downstairs in the pub.
My name's Steve. I usually come down to the pub and have a few drinks.
So you're a regular?
I'm a regular, yes.
Okay, since you've worked here, how long have you worked here now?
About 3 months.
Tell us about your experience.
Well, Sunday night, I had just passed there, and I was closing up and had said goodbye to the last of the regulars. Locked the front door, so I was here by myself. And I started cleaning up, and I came behind the bar, just right by where the glass washer was, bent down to drain it. And then stood up, and I had a black shadow go right across my face. So my hair stood up, my spine, ice cold, just totally ice cold. So,
What are your thoughts about the paranormal?
well, I've seen stuff all my life, so I know stuff like that does exist. But this one really scared me, so I prayed. And I sang a couple of hymns because I was so frightened.
Yeah.
And I was in here by myself as
Yeah.
well. So, and then it was gone. I felt it go.
Okay.
You know, I couldn't feel it around anymore because it went nice and warm again.
Okay. How about yourself? Your experience?
Well, I was down in the Duke of Marlborough.
Okay.
I was having a few drinks.
Which is
and-
the bar downstairs?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
And it was me, the manager, or owner, and the bartender. I was finishing up my last drink, and she pulled a beer out of the cooler, the fridge. She opened it. She put it on the table there. We were sitting there chatting for about 5 minutes, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, the fridge swung open and swung shut
Okay.
on its own. We were all startled. We were sitting there going, you know, how did that happen? Was anybody there? Was anybody doing it? Was there anything to, you know?
Okay.
It's a sliding fridge.
It's
too.
a sliding
Yeah,
fridge.
it's
It
a
just
sliding
slid right
fridge.
open
Yeah.
without any explanation.
We were there trying to figure it out. We were there until about 2:30 in the morning trying to figure out how that could happen.
Interesting. Well, hopefully today we'll try to figure it out.
I hope you do.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
DVR for night vision cameras.
We have EMF detectors.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we,
Electromagnetic frequency.
yeah. We have audio recorders, a variety of different types.
Sorry, audio recorder?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
We have temperature gauges.
Still cameras.
Yeah.
Don't forget the most important tool. Yourself.
Ourselves.
Yourself.
Oh.
I was here for 10 years, and then it closed down for 2.5 years.
You're
And
the
now I'm
one I've
back.
been trying to find.
Oh, really?
Yes, yes, we have you documented.
Yes.
Yes.
A long time ago.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
So what were some of the experiences that you've had here?
Like going from, like especially up here, going from room to room,
Mhm.
and like we have central heating everywhere, but going into one room and it's like cold,
Mhm.
and like it's like something's going through you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
Perfect.
you know, basically, because I work downstairs and I used to work nights, I'd be
Mhm.
here till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, nobody
Yeah.
would be upstairs, and you usually hear tables being tipped over, glasses smashing, cutlery hitting the floor.
And you can physically see this, like the end result of this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I would call the next morning and say, yeah, there's a table being tipped over.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
And nobody's here at all? Hmm. Interesting.
No.
Interesting.
Now, my husband used to wait outside for me,
Mhm.
so I set the alarm and stuff, and he said he used to see, like on the top floor,
Yeah.
somebody like walking with a candle from window to window.
With a candle.
Mhm.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. Wonder what that could possibly be.
I wonder.
Yeah.
We've had lots of stories from customers.
There was
that
something with
that
the
had-
radio
Yes.
that I read.
Yes.
So that
The
really
radio would
intrigued
switch
me.
off and on all the time, or in fact literally change channels as well. So, you know, we used to have customers that would come up here and have dinner. There was one family that had a family reunion, and there was about 12 of them, and the mother was talking to somebody in the fireplace, and they're all looking at her, and who are you talking to? And he said, the lady in the rocking chair. And they're all looking like, Mom's had too much to drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has there been anybody else that has mentioned the lady in the rocking chair?
A few people, yeah. Like I've had a few people that are in here that are like psychics, and they said that the lady talks to him all the time. He always comes to the house, and she doesn't like him. And you know, the last time he was here was just after we opened, and she says she's screaming at me to get out of her house.
So I wonder if it's something to do with men, or maybe she only talks to women.
Yeah, it could be a worse situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of the things that people see, they're open like Native Indian.
Well, yeah, because from what I understand from the history of the place, some of the material, building material itself was taken from the land.
Yes, it was, yeah.
And of course, it being moved in 1974.
Yeah.
Was it? No.
72.
72 was moved from.
Yeah, they started doing construction and stuff. But they said they actually moved big boulders
Yeah.
to put the house in, and it was supposed to be an ancient Indian burial ground.
Mm.
So obviously they disturbed.
I couldn't find a report though on an ancient burial
No,
ground.
it's tough, especially with native. It's really, really tough. When was it? Do you know when this was last renovated?
Last renovated?
Yeah, like Like
Well,
when they
it's-
reopened it,
it's-
when Gino bought it or whatever, purchased it, did he
Yeah.
renovate it?
Yes, he did, yes.
Okay, so that was how long ago?
Couple of weeks,
Two.
month, 2
Well,
months ago.
No,
When did you open?
we opened January, end of January this year.
Okay, still
But it
still
was
pretty
closed for
fresh.
2.5 years, and
Yeah.
we did major renovation. Like Gino had done renovation when they first took over,
Yeah.
and during the Christmas and New Year,
Okay.
we had a massive flood
Oh wow.
from the 3rd floor,
Okay.
and like literally walls collapsed, and they had to start all over again.
The sprinkler system came on, wasn't it?
Yeah, sprinkler system malfunctioned.
Yeah.
But I used to talk to like construction guys that say they
Can't
wouldn't-
explain it.
they wouldn't be in here after dark. There was one guy who was doing the tiling in the bathrooms upstairs, and he realised it was getting dark,
Yeah.
so he's coming down the back stairs, and he feels it's a hen was pushing him down the stairs. He says, I just ran out the door, and that was it, they didn't come back.
Well, hopefully we'll catch something tonight,
I
or at
hope
least
so.
try to explain some of the stuff that's going on in here.
But they don't bother me. I think they're scared me.
Most of the time.
Because I wasn't here for like 2.5 years, and then after, because I went and worked with Gino at the other restaurant, and
Yeah.
then I came back here just before we opened to get everything ready. I walked in the door and I went, I'm back.
Yeah, most of the time.
Did you get greeted?
No, but I tend to spook myself out sometimes, especially if I'm here late at night, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm alone up here, the door downstairs. Okay, gotta go.
Yeah, most of the time when you deal with historical homes like this, it's residual. It's like a record playing over and over and over again. But you never know. There might be some intelligence in here.
No, it was a few weeks ago I was here. I was the first one here, and I had to go up the back stairs.
Mhm.
And there's 2 double doors, and usually they just swing wide open. It was as if somebody was holding the door back and pushing, and it wouldn't open.
Mhm.
So I tried the other one, pushing, nothing happened. And all of a sudden I just fell through it. It was
No.
like, whoa, okay, you don't want me to come up here.
Mm.
It's really crazy.
We'll see what reveals itself tonight. Well, there's certainly a lot of lore with this house, this restaurant. There's no doubt about it. Even when I was a kid.
We wouldn't walk, we wouldn't walk by the house, we'd go across the street. We'd walk by it when we were
Well, I remember, having to catch the last bus on Dundas when I was like in my late teens, and walking through this plaza and just walking by this house, and I'd be like looking at it and going, "Wow, this is creepy
Did you
looking
ever
place."
think you'd actually be here doing investigations?
No, well, that wouldn't even cross my mind at all. But I always, when I started doing this, I was like, wow, that would be an interesting place. With all this, the stories and even the feeling that you got just walking by it. You're like, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it's definitely looking forward to digging in and seeing what we'll possibly get. Hopefully they won't be restless tonight.
Hopefully. I hope so.
I know, that lightning storm we had last weekend, I'm like, why couldn't it be tonight?
Yeah, then it'll screw our equipment. No.
Yeah, no, but I was here last weekend and the lights just
best
flashed up
tools
and on, and that was it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, because we wanted,
Maybe it's on that side. I don't know this as far as I come, actually. Margot knows the building better than me, but I'll ask her.
yeah, because if we can get in,
She said that was the office.
Yeah, that's one
Yeah.
of the places we wanted to get in.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
My recorder's on the fritz. It worked fine outside and now it's not working at all.
No way, I
Yeah.
have about new batteries. Do you want to try a new
I
battery?
put a brand new battery in just before I left.
That happened to me one time.
Yeah?
All my batteries were all
Just
brand
like that,
new.
eh?
Yeah,
That happened
the
to me at the
theater.
mill.
Yeah.
At the mill.
Yeah,
Fore mill.
that's right.
Batteries, yeah.
Do you want to try a new one?
Do you have a AAA that I
Yeah.
could just use in the
Absolutely.
intro? Thank you. Your first phenomenon. Don't say that, no, no, it's just a battery. Everybody breathe. What's new?
Little story.
Have you ever? No, but I feel better wearing them. So hey,
Mars is somewhat sensitive.
somewhat.
Somewhat sensitive. She can sort of
I sense things. I
sense
feel
things in the area,
Yeah.
but you're always afraid to just blurt it out.
Blurt it out. I know. You know why? Because I second guess myself when I think about it. Instead of coming right out and saying what I think, I think, oh, maybe it isn't that way. But I always find that if I do blurt it out, I'm usually on the on the mark. So yeah,
It's usually the area where most people get skeptical.
yeah,
But and myself, I'm very skeptical with a lot of things with this, and you have to be.
You
Would
have
you
to
find
be.
the majority of you guys are skeptical and you're looking for a
Yeah,
reason?
you
Oh,
have
yeah,
to.
yeah.
Be. You have
Yeah,
to
for
be
sure.
because if you're not
That-
skeptical, every picture you take that has a little orb in it or anything, it's paranormal, and
Yeah.
you can't do that because somebody will just squash you in a second. You have to grow a thick skin. If you don't have a thick skin, you can't do it because there are people breathing down your neck, waiting to just say hack the crap out of you. But having her, it's just another thing that, because I mean, let's face it, the paranormal, it's unknown. We don't know. Even science doesn't know. It's all trial and error, theory.
yeah.
And just because somebody may not believe in what she might be able to do or her abilities, it doesn't mean that we should not, implement it into what we do. As I don't want to call her a tool, but
I'm such a tool.
yeah.
I was trying to think of
Yeah.
how-
But we're all tools, right? But it's always good to have because you never know. You might have some sort of reading on audio, video, or something in the area where she's like, "Well, I sense this."
So tell me what you mean, like sometimes you feel a presence or you...
Yes, sometimes I'll feel a presence. You can feel things, right? When you go in a room, you just go by body reaction too. Like if you walk into a room and all of a sudden you just feel sick or queasy or something, that's something telling you. That's kind of like the same idea as the hairs on the back of your neck, So they just, that kind of thing. And you probably got my mouth open. Oh no! But that's kind of like the thing. Or sometimes I'll go into a room and then all of a sudden, you get like a pain in your leg or whatever, And I thought, well, these are all things that you should be looking for that you've probably never experienced before. I remember one time went into this house and I closed my eyes and I got an image right in front of me of this man's face and what he looked like.
Yeah.
That was quite, that was really, I was excited about it.
You were excited, you weren't nervous or apprehensive, you were excited.
No, I was really excited about it because I just closed my eyes and I just stood there and that was it. It just came to me and I described this person. And
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
her uncle, and I said, did he have the most thing on him was this prominent nose, right? And I asked the lady in the house, and she said, oh, that was my uncle that died, and he died in that room, and that room was so cold. And I said, why is it so cold in there? The atmosphere was cold, the room was cold. She says they haven't been able to warm it up ever since, but it was a cold atmosphere to me more than just being cold. Like it was cool, but I felt that it was cold and depressing, But yeah, it was interesting. It was, so this different things, eh? Like you just, I don't know. And then sometimes you enter a room and all of a sudden you get this terrible headache and you wonder why you got it, and and.
The hangover.
But I felt, yeah.
It's a what?
Hangover. You're not supposed to drink when we do things like this, so, that might encourage.
Before.
No, I wouldn't be able to stand up anyway.
I mean, our objective with Mars too is try to keep her sheltered from any of the background history or information that we gather on a location. So again, if she picks something up and it's like bang on with something that we've got, then again, we can just equate it to something possible.
Yeah.
So would you call yourself psychic or?
I think everybody's psychic.
Yeah.
So it's just some people, get into it a little bit more, but I think we've all got the ability. Maybe just doing it more often might, bring you a little closer to it.
I think a small version of that is deja vu.
Yeah. Yeah. But my grandmother was very psychic, so I'm hoping that I can at least kind of measure up to something like that. But yeah, I just go on a lot of gut feelings. I can. Sometimes you're in a room, there's no explanation but like I'm always looking for an explanation. Oh well, there's this like whirling wind around me or something like a draft or something. So of course then I'm looking, oh, well, is the window open? Is the air conditioner on? Is this, that, and the other thing, right? So you cancel all those things out. And if there's nothing that can explain that movement of air,
Then you start drinking heavily.
yes.
and that's the main objective, exactly
Yeah.
what she says, is
Yeah.
to weed out the possible,
Right.
to, you know, the
Right.
explainable. That's our first and foremost thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to explain what we can explain, and then what we can't, obviously, is something that we want to look at further
Yeah.
and
So
scrutinize.
you guys must get a lot of criticism, like you're
Oh,
saying.
obviously. That's,
How
I
do
mean,
you
there's.
deal with that?
Oh, yeah. Sorry?
How do you deal with that?
You don't.
You can't deal with it. You can't change a person's perspective, way of thinking. We don't present ourselves as experts. We're not experts. There's no experts in this field because it's unknown. All we're trying to do is document something and present it to people who might have an expertise in a certain field to scrutinize it and then come back to me and say, hey, this is what it possibly can be. Fine, I'll accept it. But if somebody wants to be skeptical and saying, well, that's not what it is, okay, well then you tell me what.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Right,
most of the time they'll either go silent or they'll just go onto this rant that just has nothing to do with
Tell you what it isn't.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, you just gotta let it slide, because most of the time, if you go on it head on, there's always a lot of these people are very apprehensive. They're very argumentative. They'll just carry it on, want to have the last word. You just gotta let it slide. There's way too many people out there that want to.
Well, especially when they say, oh, well, that's not possible. How do you know?
Exactly.
They got proof the other way?
Yeah,
I don't know. How do you know?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. I mean, there's unfortunate. There's too many people. I guess with this field, and I've said this a million times. With this field, there's no regulation, and with that, there's a lot of exploitation.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will just go with the exploitation and say, look, well, you're cheating, you're falsifying, you're doing this and that. We're just trying to be honest about it, as honest as we can be, by collecting this evidence, but at the same time criticizing it to the point where we're going, well, look, we can't explain this as a group. That's why we have the website. It's presented to you out there who are looking in, who might have a little bit more knowledge on a certain subject that we don't have that knowledge, to come to us and say, look, this is what it could possibly be. Great, perfect. That's what we want. That's why we're doing this, to network with others that are dealing with this. I mean, honestly, there is something going on. There's no doubt about it. And I'm sure many of the group members have gone through a certain situation where they just simply cannot explain, no matter what you try. There's just no way of doing it.
Let's get to it, people.
Yeah.
Hands in.
Okay, so why don't we get everybody, and actually more toward me. And look, and look
You're
right
not
at,
sparkling.
right in the middle of my legs.
Yeah. Make me look better than I am.
She's got her fake smile on.
A little lower.
Lower?
Perfect.
You're doing great. It's intimidating to have a big camera flashing
I
in
know.
your face.
Yeah.
But it
It
is
is.
painless, I promise.
For you.
Well, that's true.
After the 20th time, you'll be used to it.
Do you need toothpicks?
That's great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Actually, I'm just gonna get the spelling of your name.
Oh, here we go. All right. M-A-R-C-E.
Oh,
All right. Oh, that's handy little
You
gadget.
can't just wave the apple in front of her and it'll like
Well, I
identify her.
could, but I don't want to release that feature.
M-A-R-C-E-L-L-E.
Yep.
Anderson.
guys put your different equipment in different rooms type of thing? Is that what you're?
Well, we'll have like a centralized area where we'll just like keep an eye on the DVR system once we have it set up. There's 4 cameras, so we constantly keep an eye and we'll document if anything weird shows up while we're recording. We'll document it on the log, and then once we go back and review everything, then hopefully we can.
Yeah, it's not bad, eh?
Do you want to do it? I've never done it. You've never done it? No. Okay, so here, do this. So basically what you want to do is you can kind of like go into the perimeter and see where, like up here. Yeah, so turn it on. No, you come. You know what? I've never written it down, Grant. What do you? Because I've never written it down. I've only done it. Like, I've only
Would
been
you
the one
like
doing
me
it.
to be back with you?
Yeah,
Would you
eventually.
like to have lights here in this class?
Off the lights?
Yeah.
Not right yet.
No?
Yeah.
If there's anything like there,
Yeah.
like there's probably a wire in the wall.
Yeah.
You just kind of write down where it is. So if I go,
Yeah. It's reading it what side? 10?
Oh, 1.0. No, it's 0.8.
Alright, okay, so go.
Karaoke? Anyone?
Yes.
Chardonnay?
Alright, set up the angle now if you want.
Point 2?
Yeah.
So,
I don't know what's around here. It's down here. It's not. That's even higher here. 2.5. Oh, it's 3 now. Here.
I know, I think we're all criticizing.
Would you like to work it?
yeah, that's just a motion detector, right?
That's it. Oh, see, it wasn't doing that with the cell sensor. These lights, it could be on these lights. I'm gonna turn every light.
Just that one.
What's that?
This is weird.
What is that?
No.
But you tried that over there and it was, and it reacted. That's why it's like stumping me for some reason. I don't
pretty
even
much
know.
fluctuating between 68 and 70. Like everything.
Okay. There's a wire in here.
Is it?
It wouldn't come out this far though.
It's doing it here.
Unless there's like one big light that I feel around.
I don't know, it's like air conditioning gives it out.
It's like, at any rate, there's like a ton of there's wiring. There's a ton of EMF down here, which make people.
I think that's good. Thanks. I mean, you can turn them back off again.
I can turn them off?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm just trying to see what they'll.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Sorry.
much.
All we can honestly say, unless somebody else can figure it out, is that there's a lot of EMF. I haven't said that about 7 times now.
The thing is, it was over there too, though, like in the middle of the room.
What?
Sorry?
You want to light before or?
Off probably, but they can finish what they're doing.
Yeah.
Come on, you need the light.
Okay, we're gonna get going.
It's
Yeah, it's crazy down here.
I don't know, but